today is if higher education is overrated. Over the course of my lifetime, I've heard both versions, whether you should go to college or you should not go to college, and I just kind of want to go over everything that kind of like comes with the information that I found with that. So I'm going to inform you and educate on what education can do. Are you going to college? Did you go to college at some point? A lot of people started college but didn't necessarily finish it. And then some people have gotten their degrees. So that's a pretty big question, and I've seen surveys go around, where they ask if you went to college or not. I assume you have some form of opinion on this subject. I understand, as I've always had one too. What you don't know is that my opinion has changed. I always assumed that you had choices in life, start a family, or go get a career. Not really both. It wasn't until I was 28 with a large family when I decided college was important for my future. As I was growing up, my father graduated with a master's degree, but my uncle did not even go to college, and they both were very successful in their careers and made quite a bit of money. So it was kind of just projected that, hey, you could go put all these years into education, or you could just develop a skill or a trade and really dig into that and be successful there. But the problem is that you don't necessarily always have the knowledge to make that be successful. Okay, so you will discover why college is important and how it can truly change the trajectory of your future. Your future literally awaits you with education and knowledge. You will change how your life evolves. College forces growth in many diversities. It causes us to grow up, particularly people that start college right after high school. They are forced to take care of themselves. They're used to someone doing everything for them, and then all of a sudden they have to grow up, right? You also have to learn how to get along in a bigger setting and take more responsibility for your actions, such as not going to class and getting a F, because you don't have the rules and tardies like you do in high school. With college, you are much more likely to get a higher paying job. That's just the way that it works these days. Not to say that you could not otherwise, but typically the higher paying jobs come with a degree. And then statistically, you will have more satisfaction with your job. You will know more about your job as well. You'll learn important skills and human knowledge in a much more in-depth model. And by doing and saying that, these are all research papers that I went over, and those were the big points from Get Degrees, the Newsroom, and another article from the Newsroom. But you've got to realize that being okay is not okay. You can't settle for what you think is okay in your community or in the population. Just because it's popular does not make it the right choice. And in the community that we grow up in, a lot of people just go in to work and get off and don't want to become and do more. And that's what we consider normal around here, and that's why I did not go to college until I was 28 years old. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And that is a quote from Nelson Mandela. And you can change events in your life. With knowledge, you can prevent things by recognizing issues before they happen or before they become a bigger issue. We can make a difference. We help people see the benefits with going to college and what they can do for us, especially at AUM. I love the UNIV class. A lot of people hated it, but for someone that was kind of, close to 30, I didn't really understand the college life, and I'd been out of high school for a long time. So going over all those things were huge for me, and I really learned a lot, and I still use a lot of the assets that I wouldn't have known were there had I not had that class. Okay, so we can talk about the pros and cons. It was not discussed in depth when I was younger, and I was told to look at my dad and his brother, as I've already told you. Well, those are two prime examples of what a pro and con could be from college. But you also have to have a mindset there, and if it's not already instilled in you and you're not growing and learning more to have that mindset, you're likely not going to be successful. Not to say you won't be happy, you just may not have an extremely wealthy career, but if you do, it's likely because you worked for it. Okay, so ultimately, I think that we should be the change that we want to see, and we should encourage our youth to go to college or to go get a trade or to get a specific knowledge of something so that they can grow in that and become more and more successful so that they can create a better income, because ultimately a higher income leads to higher satisfaction, which leads to higher happiness as a whole. And that is really important for your overall lifespan, is to be happy. In the United States, for example, 25 to 65-year-olds whose highest level of attained high school completion had an average literacy score of 259, compared with the average score of 302 for those that had a bachelor or higher degree. That is a significant increase in numbers between 259 to 302. And that's simply because they had more education. So you have to ask yourself, will you allow the younger generation to continue to be stagnant without goals? And I personally don't think that I can allow myself to do that. That was what kind of pushed me to go to college, is because we do have 6 kids and we are a busy family, and I want them to have goals and I want them to achieve all their goals. But if they don't see someone else make that change in their life, I can't assume that they would be inspired to make that change in theirs. So with that, that is my presentation.